Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to do some maintenance and cleaning on our portable Pit Boss smoker grill. This thing's been great, but it's time to do a little maintenance on it and spruce it up a little bit. So after you've cooked on it for a couple of times or run one really long cook, you're going to want to clean it out. And also there's a gasket inside the lid. It goes around the inside of the lid right in this area right here that has come off on our grill and needs to be replaced. I'm going to show you that process too. And as you can see, kind of hopefully on the video, it's grungy inside. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that. Okay, I want to go ahead and say I am not sponsored by Pit Boss. I am not sponsored by any of these products. This is just what I use and what I like. Is this the right way to do it? I don't know. It's my way. And is this the best pellet grill on the market? I don't know. I like it. Does it get great results? Absolutely. Does it require maintenance? Of course, they all do. So we're going to get that done. Okay, so what you're going to need to do this is obviously you're going to need a vacuum cleaner. I'm just using this one. This is just one that we have, and it works really well for this process. First thing you're going to need, I like Simple Green. I like Simple Green because it's biodegradable and safe for the environment. And I use it on the outside and around the handles and everything to keep them clean as well. Cuts grease, not as good as the next product. This, just a generic spray bottle with about a 30 to 40% Dawn dishwashing liquid solution in it. This is it's gonna cut the grease. Be careful not to spray inside too much, and you definitely don't want to get your electronics wet. So a couple of other items that you're going to want that are at least nice to have, of course, some rags, some paper towels, and I like to wear rubber gloves. Keep some of the grease and nastiness off your hands. A grill brush or some type of way of scraping off the grate should you need it. This is just one I use for both my Weber Q1200 and I use it for this. And it has a scraper on it, but if you didn't have a scraper, you could use something like a simple putty knife, which I'm also going to use in this video. Pretty much everything else you're going to need is just some elbow grease and some water. I'm going to use a garden hose that's right nearby, and it comes out really good. There are some areas that you want to pay particular attention to and not get them wet and not spray your portable smoker with water. Again, don't get this thing wet. It's not designed to be hosed down, but you do have to clean it out, and I'm going to show you how that's done. So here's our little grease catch, and if you notice, there's probably a little grease right in here that you can see on the camera, and the reason why is I store it with this in place right on the side. I usually put a foil pan under here, or I'll line this with foil, but there's always a little bit that drips out, so we're going to clean that out too. And open it up. This can all be sprayed. This you got to be careful with. I take it out when I do it. This is a no-go zone. Obviously your panel and your side over here where your fan is, those you don't want to get wet. What I like to do is take my soap. This is just, like I said, just some Dawn, and we're going to spray the lid up in here, and we're going to start getting it soaking a little bit. Again, this is just Dawn dishwashing soap, about 40% with some water. Notice I didn't spray in here. This never gets really that dirty. You can just wipe it out because this chamber on this side is for covering the hopper, which you want to stay away from when you're cleaning, at least with anything liquid or wet. So we're just going to go ahead and spray this down well and let that start soaking. Okay, so obviously this is the business end, and you have your grate in here, and this is after doing a pulled pork, and there is quite a bit of residue on here and ick, as you can see, so we're going to get that off. You just set this down. Over here off to this side, you have your actual grate, and this is covered with just all the drippings that come down. They flow down this way. This is on an angle, and it drops into a tray over here, comes out this hole. We're going to clean all of that out today. So let me get this over here, get it soaking, and we're going to get it cleaned off. Okay, so let's take a look inside the smoke chamber itself. This is the smoke or the fire pit right here. This is where the pellets come out and into this whole area right here. As you can see, there's some pellets in there. And this builds up ash in this area right here. And this all has to be vacuumed out. As long as you don't get this wet, it'll vacuum right out super easy. This part over here catches quite a bit of grease. So I will actually put some Dawn in here and soap and let that kind of filter out. We're going to put our little drip chamber back on and let it catch it over onto the side. Okay, let's get it vacuumed out. So just like that, this is clean, but it's that easy to clean that part of it. This part here, just going to take a scraper of some type. I'm just going to use my little putty knife here, and you just want to scrape everything down through here and kind of towards the middle. Again, I'm not trying to get every little bit of grease out of here, and there's no reason to, as long as you wipe it down once in a while and get some of it off. But this area right here collects quite a bit. And if you look over here, you'll see there is moisture in that tray where it actually came out. To get some of that goo out of there, I found trapping it with some paper towels works the best. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. Simply, you probably take a hose or a cup of water and pour it in here. I'm just careful because I don't want to get too much water or moisture inside that chamber. So I just take a couple of paper towels and just come into the middle, just like this. And I just trap everything and pull it out. Yeah, it's gross. You get a couple more paper towels and get the rest. This isn't something you have to do all the time, maybe about every 6 or 8 cooks. But when you notice that this tray is starting to get congested, you definitely want to give it a little love. All right, so we have our diffuser plate and we have our griddle underneath it. And of course, I've got the grease catch right here. And we're going to go ahead and put the paper towels in the grease catch into this plastic bag. One of the tricks that I like to do is I like to scrape everything off first. And I'm going to use my little scraper to do that. And if you see how this comes right off like this, and it'll just come off in big sheets. And then I take that and I like to put it in a bag. Once I get it cleaned well, I'm going to go ahead and use my Dawn solution, spray it down good. Forget about the back. I don't do too much on the back. I like to have that kind of smoky, and just with a light coating of grease doesn't hurt, keeps from rusting. And again, you're not trying to get this spotless, just clean. And then I'm going to focus on the grate itself. The grate's not bad. Again, a little bit of Dawn. And I just take my wire brush to it, real light. We're going to let all this soak a little bit, let this Dawn do its thing, and we're going to come back, brush that off, clean it up a little bit better, and then hose it off and let it dry. So I sprayed a bunch of Dawn and water up in here, and I let it soak for a little bit. We're going to put some more in here. I do this about maybe once or twice a year, and I find that it just keeps it a little bit cleaner and a little nicer. So I've wiped this out pretty well, but it still has some soap on it. So I want to get that out. So I have my hose set very low, and I'm just going to come in here very lightly and just start spraying this out. So I want to get all of that soap out. I don't want any soap anywhere in there that can contaminate my cook. Give it a nice rinse. Just be careful not to get any water inside this area down here, anywhere in your smoke chamber. A few drops, not going to hurt it. You can wipe that out. This is all draining out back here. There's slots cut in this thing. You'll see some water come out here. Those slots were the smoke escapes. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that up for a second and let that water come out. And now I'll take a paper towel to that and dry any excess water. So the next order of business is to come in and get all of these mating surfaces as clean as I can and degreased, because I'm going to put a new gasket on it. So I'm going to take a scraper and make sure I've got all the old gasket off. So I've cleaned this edge really well. I ended up using some window cleaner, and because I had it on hand, I used some denatured alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol would work. maybe acetone. Acetone might be a little harsh, but you want to get this edge right here just as clean as you can, because this is the edge that the gasket is going to go on. So I'm going to grab that for you real quick. So this is what I chose to get. I got this on Amazon, and it's by a company called UNCO, and it's called Grill Gasket. You can see it right there in the label. And this one, it was just a generic one. It had good reviews, so I went ahead and grabbed it. And it tells you how to put it on and all the different things. The other thing I have is a good pair of sharp scissors, because this gasket is wider than some of these surfaces. So I'm going to put it on the areas that I don't have to trim first, and I'm going to come back and trim it and put it on the other areas. So we're going to come out here a little bit wider than what we need. We're going to cut that off, and then we're going to cut the angles into it on these angles after we get it put on there. And we'll just go ahead and cut about a 45-degree angle. So whenever you're going to put any kind of sticker or anything that sticks on, you want to just go ahead and get a little bit peeled back from the end. You don't want to peel the whole thing off. And then you're going to get it started kind of where you want it. Line it up. Make sure it's on there good. And then you're going to stretch it back out in the direction you want to go. And then just start peeling the backing off as you go and sticking it on. That way, you know you're getting it nice and straight, following whatever contours you need to. And you can just bring that right to the end, nice and snug. And we're going to cut off the excess down here on this end. We're going to press that on good. Bring our scissors over here and just trim up the excess. Just like that. So these edges here are very thin, and they're about almost exactly half of this. So I'm going to come in and, as carefully as I can, simply cut this in half, and that'll give me two pieces that I can put on. Two little notches right here, and they go over to two screws right here. So I'm making sure that those are clear, so when the top closes down, it doesn't get caught on there and pull the gasket off. So there's the portable smoker grill with this brand new gasket in there. I think it came out really nice. It's sticking good. It's got a great feel, and the latch obviously is nice and solid as it used to be. And I think it's going to be a great upgrade to what was in there. And I still got quite a bit left. In fact, I've probably got more than enough left to do this whole project again. So on the back are all the instructions you need. There's some tips and tricks on the front. It gives you a lot of good instructions. Basically clean it, make sure it's good, measure it out, and make sure everything fits before you pull the backing off. Stuff that you would do pretty much anyway. They also give you a card in here about their warranty and their customer satisfaction. And it says if for any reason you're not happy, let them know. And there's a barcode there. Never used products from this company before, but they seem well made. The company seems pretty legit, and they've got great reviews. So we're gonna let this gasket stay on here for a while now, see how it does. And again, this link will be down below. It will be an affiliate link, and I do get a few pennies for it. But hey, really appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Throw me a like, throw me a subscribe. Really helps us out. And again, we really appreciate you stopping by and for taking the time to watch the video. You guys be safe out there, and remember, it's all about the journey. We'll see you in the next one.